Ladies and gentlemen of the world, we finally did it. Nintendo decided to let Team Cherry actually show something for once and give Silksong a release year. This thing finally having a release year after its first announcement 7 years ago literally not felt like watching an actual Aurora Borealis in your own room. People have been waiting now painstakingly long for this game to even remotely have any semblance of anything, a droplet, even like the size of a crumb would have been enough for any people that were trying to follow any updates regarding Silksong. In fact, those people were kind of almost reaching to the almost exact same kind of like length and almost kind of like delusion of like people that were kind of waiting for Deltarune, which by the way, in that same Nintendo like announcement, Nintendo also gave in some like things like Deltarune for its chapter 3 and 4 were actually gonna be able to come out. You have people like the Playboy Cardi server, which which he did technically upload and use it because he actually remembered what the upload button was, where the fans literally experienced like whiplash and withdrawal at the exact same time, and as well as like just the Batman Arkham Asylum Reddit, because they're basically just full-on crazy people and they're just aware that they are practically crazy people in every sense of the word. But now seeing that Silksong is kind of no longer be sucking in like that developmental hell anymore, I very much am too also excited for this game to at least be out when it very much does, able to become in this year. I actually have been a fan of Hollow Knight, and I actually did end up playing the game on the Nintendo Switch. It looked pretty cool, and as I just played because most of my friends very much were a fan of Hollow Knight, and I did too. I came out to really enjoy it and very much kind of explore a lot more of the lore of the game, and as well as like a lot of the bosses and everything else, and the incredible speed runs and like everything else that I've been seeing up. And to show my appreciation for Silksong, at least finally be able to have an actual out, it's actually there, it's gonna be working on, it has gonna be released. I thought, what better way to kind of very much see the reactions of people by going onto the official Silksong subreddit, because man, they're probably not feeding at the mouth and frothing as we speak. Believer, that's all it takes. 2025, you believe that? We've been lied to before, Believer. And what if it lies again? What if it's 2022 again? What will you have? Still no Silksong? Paying 8 more months of Silksong tomorrow? What will you have? You. I'll still have you. I kind of like it almost has, we have now reached kind of the point where any announcement that it almost seems almost too real that almost feels like actual deniers. It's kind of like in the Santa Claus where like Tim Allen's character very much sees everything of like the North Pole, the elves, the toy making and everything else, and he still just does not believe it and refuse to think that this is actually just real. So I gotta respect that it kind of almost frames it as kind of like the Invincible just scene where like Iron Man tells Martha you'll have nothing in 50 years and everybody will just die and pass along way before you will. Speaking of which, they immediately show that immediately afterwards without a literal second thought. Silksong delayed tomorrow. You got to doubt me, guys. Silksong isn't real and 2025 is a myth. Silksong's going to get delayed to 29/25 tomorrow, and Nintendo accidentally wrote 0 instead of 9 because of their finger slips. You got to continue doubting. Don't turn to believer. Just because we saw a glimpse of 2025, I doubt I never stopped doubting, and the bait was never believable. You have to remember, this is just another piece of the bait that Team Cherry is throwing into the sea for unknowing silkfishes to take. You mustn't take the you mustn't like the skill fishes, and you need to keep doubting in order to skunk. You must continue doubting or you'll see the agonizing hey gang once again. Keep doubting, gang. I don't know where this is just really funny to me. It is literally just the same thing as the other post, but now just been like, hey, don't believe it. It's not real. It's fake, like the tooth fairy. You need to stop having this delusion that Silk's coming out. Team Cherry's doing this on purpose. It's a troll. You're getting mocked by Team Cherry as of this point. Also, I like how they had to refer to the people that very much did believe anything that was like even like a remotely of a tier from like Team Cherry to be silk fishy or like skill skunks. We have entered actual derogatory slurs being thrown into a Silksong subreddit, which I find really funny. The war is over, we won. This is actually kind of referring to a actual YouTube channel that has been actually keeping up with like the entire days of like how many days has it been since an actual new release of like Silksong. And right now, as you can currently see within the actual image, it's been 1,538 days since we actually get even any more news. In fact, this is actually kind of a big hallmarker for this person, at least in specifically, because it just felt like a whole life just was like not ready for them. As soon as it finally came out, and as soon as like the date was like, you know, there, the year, they're starting to actually feel kind of almost like this like graduation type thing where like they're just not ready to just move on within their life and everything, which is really kind of just shows the almost kind of like a level of pride and just a admirational respect that you would have to do to dedicate enough most of your life to having to, you know, detail of any kind of news, to let anybody know that Silksong News has something, there's something new in there, and like Team Cherry's letting us know, and now they have it and they just don't know what else to do with it. It's literally like almost kind of a character that has been progressing over like the course of its history, and they finally get to the end and they actually end up getting their wish immediately, like at the end. And it's like, what do you do at that point? I'm ready for tomorrow, guys. Memes if Silksong releases this note. You believe me if I told you that is actually the most normal Silksong fan reaction that I probably have seen thus far on the Reddit. Don't worry, it probably could get worse from here on out. Made this handy chart to demonstrate how being a doubter is objectively better. Yo Silksong on April 2nd. Second and doubter equals a win. Silksong on April 2nd and it being a doubter means a mega big win. No Silksong on April 2nd and the believer is a loss, and Silksong on April 2nd being a believer is a mega win. Again, I really just like the justifiable hoops that you have to kind of just go on for, because either you are so gullible enough to believe that anytime a Nintendo Direct or anything just happens, they're going to announce it's gonna be like, oh yeah, Silksong's gonna be on here, when it was almost kind of never the case, at least up until now. Okay, believers, you win this time. Like how they had to, like, you know, just make them all the believers kind of just polarize into this one man being Sisyphus just to roll up the boulder, and he actually just does it. They really are just almost in kind of just in a constant state of denial that no, this cannot be real. You have to remove the glasses. You gotta see beyond the horizon to know that this isn't real. Never lose hope. In the literal face of adversity, people that were very much believing that Silksong will come out, they're probably not eating good. They are literally just pumping the champagne. They're eating like the gabagool. They're doing anything else to, like, you know, just have a hoo in the holler over on this thing. And it's just legitimately just some of the best that they have seen. Just showing awesome pictures of Hornet, as well as some other funny and visual things that they show. Hey gang, sorry for the mix-up. That day in the Nintendo Direct was supposed to be 2020-05. Silksong will not be releasing in 2025. Again, sorry for the misunderstanding. I know for a fact that this is a legitimate fake tweet, but wouldn't have it been hilarious if that was actually just the case? The fact that they are literally just saying that, hey, this was supposed to be on this year, it was supposed to be this year, we did a little bit of a misspelling on our part, and they just had to announce it to everybody. That light that you saw at the end of the tunnel actually never existed in the first place. Let Silksong be delayed again. It would be so fucking funny. Honestly, it would be kind of funny, because it kind of goes in either way, because if it gets delayed again, then that means that everybody has to put back onto the clown costume again. But if it doesn't get delayed and it actually gets released out much more, Silksong fans are still going to be, kind of going to be winning at least a little bit, because now they actually end up feeling ready. They're like, hey, it didn't actually get delayed again. You guys are the losers. So it really is just like, they're like, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right. It's time to move on. The 4 Horsemen of Never Coming Out: Bloodborne, Half-Life 3, Persona 6, and Grand Theft Auto 6. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't feel like that GTA 6 belongs there, because it technically is going to come out eventually. We've seen like at least a trailer for it, at least singularly. Bloodborne, I have no familiarity with the franchise, but all I know is that the company behind it will never do anything with Bloodborne at all. They literally forget the IP just even exists. Half-Life 3 almost never comes out, and even any speculation that it does come out, it's not going to be worth it. I'm sorry, Mr. Gabe Newell, but releasing Half-Life 3, it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it, and you should stop. You should stop believing that Half-Life 3 is going to come out. And Persona 6, I'm also not familiar with that franchise, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that it could end up coming out if it tried. I don't know. I mean, it has a strong fan base for at least a lot of people. No, stay with me. Don't leave me. I mean, listen, Batman Arkham Asylum subreddit, you still have like maybe like the Playboy Cardi subreddit to at least an extent, because they're kind of just crashing out thinking that the song is just basically mid. But I mean, you're not exactly all alone, at least to an extent. If Silksong comes out in 2025, I will buy everyone that comments. guys, I think we're all gonna get Silksong for free, right? Well, I mean, you have to do it now. You can't just back out of it. You literally promised and 11,000 people to more or less like give everybody a chance to buy Silksong. And know for a fact that like the game prices are rising up, which is considerably gonna hurt my wallet more, that if I were to actually want to buy a video game, I think you would look at me crazy and send me to the mental institution. You can say that like he wasn't exactly ready for this whole thing and just didn't think it was gonna be happening and that's a lull, but hey, a promise is a promise, and you don't break something like this for it. You're gonna have to buy everything out for it. You have to have that oil prince money somewhere if you're gonna comment this. Me coming back to the subreddit after a few months, a true conversationalist. How's it going, man? April 2nd, April 2nd, April 2nd. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad most people have to very much realize that on April 1st, you cannot trust anything with your own eyes. To very much, especially when it came to think of like Silksong. Some motherfucker out there was going to lie you straight up directly, and it was never going to be fun. Silksong is coming out? No, it's coming in. Open up, spread your legs. Okay, I'm just going to leave in the possibility that that is just a fake tweet. Team Cherry just never tweeted that out, and I'm going to just live in inner bliss rather than very much accept the full reality. I just wanted to see the reactions of people very much having to know about Silksong finally coming out, because this is a big win for them, and the people who were very much, you know, fans of Deltarune as well, like they went big as well. And yeah, that's really about this kind of video. Just wanted to have a little bit of fun with this one, and yeah, that's about it. See ya.